Here's another object. It looks very triangular, doesn't it? But from this end, it's a circle. It's also a circle from this end. But from this view, it's very triangular. What if we do a little bit of both? What if we hold the object like this? Now, it's not really circular and it's not really straight, but we could, if we imagine with our drawing eye, we could imagine an ellipse in there. And then the sides, similar but different to the cylinder, are just tipped in or tapered. Should we try drawing this? Let's do it. I'm going to start with an ellipse. That represents the bottom of this cone. I'm going to run out of room, but I'm going to draw it anyway. The top of this cone has a flattened surface. Do you see the ellipse there? I'm going to draw it here. Now I'm going to darken in my lines. And I'm going to erase the construction lines that I don't need. Let's try something else here. To make the drawing a little less confusing, I'll try erasing something from behind. It's not going to completely go away, however, because in that case I drew too darkly. The way to practice this is to take a page and cover it with ellipse drawings and cylinder drawings and cone drawings. Start by drawing a smaller ellipse, then connecting it to another ellipse. Continue practicing this. Now you might notice that this is a little bit like starting the dog drawing, where we drew basic circular shapes and connected them together. We used construction lines, got our basic shapes in place, and then erased the construction lines that we didn't need anymore. If I want, I can add a little bit of shading to show that this is round. Don't worry too much about this at this point. This is going to be another tutorial. But just to give you a taste of what's to come. Now, let me draw a cone smaller over here. Draw a cone, or an ellipse for the base. Draw some tapered sides. I can make a flattened top again, like this. Darken in. Darken in my good lines. Take away the construction lines if I decide I want to. So now we have basic shapes, and we've used them to do more complex three-dimensional shapes. This is known, in part, as perspective. Don't worry, we will get back to that. Let me do a few more, and then I'll wrap this video up, and we'll get on to a different but similar thing in the next one. Now, what happens if we're drawing a cylinder like this, in approximately this position, and then we decide to tip it even further towards us? Well, what happens is, this is still an ellipse, but it changes. This is a very thin ellipse, and this is a rounder or fatter ellipse. Let's try it. Now the tricky part with this is to make both ellipses similar. But with practice, you will get it. So as you can see, these are two drawings of the same object. One is tipped a little further away from us. One is tipped a little closer to us. Let's do one that's more like this. This one might be trickier. I'm not really sure. Let me try. Notice one of the things I did in this one was I made it look not as tall as the other two, because as it tips away from us, the sides appear to get a bit shorter. That's something to think about. Let me finish up this little sketch, and then we're going to wrap this drawing up. Okay guys, if you have extra blank paper of any kind and a number 2 pencil, practice drawing some objects like this out of your imagination. Let me show you something that you can look at.